Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Nights with Nora. And we are back, you guys, for another live episode. I am so excited to be here, and I have another special guest, guys. And I don't think she's ever been on our platform. So I am so happy for her to be here. I have been trying to get her here for a while. I have been watching her work. We met, I think, maybe a couple years ago at a breakfast that they were hosting over at 36 Degrees North, if that's correct. I hope I'm getting all my memory correct. Am I getting everything right there, Miss Angela? Okay. Yeah, so I met her over there at that breakfast for the Women in Business breakfast, and it was amazing. And I got an opportunity to chat with Miss Angela, and it was great. But I'm going to introduce her, just a small thing about her, and she's going to tell you guys more about herself. But Miss Angela has so many things. I want to say that she has been in business probably for over 20 years. Is that correct, Miss Angela? And she has multiple business. So she has a plethora of experience in entrepreneurship, and she has a host of relationships that she has done with many women. So this is the topic tonight, guys. We are talking about forming positive and healthy relationships with successful women. And a lot of times we just can't quite do that. And I remember a couple of years ago that I was on her show and we were talking about building community and collaboration within the community and with other women. And so that topic was so interesting to me. And we got a chance to chit chat about how we can collaborate and build community with women. And I'm just kind of extending that conversation on off into today because I think it's so important that as women in business and as strong, successful women, that we form healthy relationships and that they are prolonged relationships that can continue for the years to come. I know sometimes when we're on our journey of entrepreneurship, it can be a lonely road. It can be a road of solitude, but that's not the life that we want for ourselves. In my opinion, I love community. I like to be around other successful, like-minded women and to have those opportunities to think and have a mastermind and a mix with women who are like myself without the cattiness of competition. Anyway, so she's here today, you guys, to talk to us and kind of give us some of her insight and her experience and what she's learned and what she's gathered over the years with talking with women and being with other women and being through her years of relationship building with other successful women. So, Miss Angela, can you go ahead and tell the women a little bit about who you are, what you do, and all things, Miss Angela?
Hey, well, first let me say thank you. I feel like I made it. I
I
made it to Nights with Nora. So I'm excited to be
know.
here. And thank you so much for inviting me to your platform to be a part of this discussion, which is it's important to me too. And it was so great to see you at the CEO's Night Out, which I'm glad, so happy to be a part of that as well. Um, I'm Angela K. Chambers. I'm a native of McAllister, Oklahoma, but I've been in Tulsa for over 30 years now. So, I mean, I say I'm from Tulsa, but every now and then somebody will check me and say, "You're not from Tulsa." Not here, but I claim it. It's my community. So I'm married. I have grown four grown children and four bonus grown children. Everybody's grown, which is a good thing. We were
Wow.
just talking about that before we came on.
Hmm.
Um, and we have seven grandchildren.
Oh,
Shout out to
wow.
my husband Tim, who's listening, and definitely one of my biggest supporters. I really appreciate having a husband in business who understands business and enjoys entrepreneurship. So that's important because that road is like you mentioned, it can be lonely, it can be stressful
Hmm.
to have someone that you can that understands, that's willing to make sacrifices and do the things that need to be done. It's very nice to have someone, to have a mate in that. So, yeah. And again, I
Absolutely.
thank you.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you can attest to that and talk about that. Like that is one of the biggest things that I said is having a partner. Having a partner. I call it my partner in crime because me and my husband are both also in business. He's a real estate. He's in real estate and he does all things real estate. And I'm over here on this side of it. But just to know and have that equal, to be equally yoked when it comes to that is always a blessing, because it's good to have someone who understands the role of having to go back and forth. So definitely so much of a blessing. So when it comes to maintaining healthy relationships and what you've done, so I know you've had plenty of experience. So when you think about the relationships that you form with women and the years, what has been one of some of the most pivotal things or some of the most essential things that you hold or values that you hold in a relationship when it comes to forming the relationships with the women that you're in right now?
I think just in general, just in life, um, especially I want to say mature, older women.
Uh-huh.
It's something that you, not just being older, but my grandmother's, would always tell me, not to burn bridges. And so,
Mm,
yeah, don't burn bridges. So when you're looking, you think that, people are not indispensable as we think. You have to, most of the things that come up in situations that you've not discussed, you don't know how to handle. Um, I would say that keeping in mind everybody really wants to win. And so, what does
mm,
that look like? Oftentimes in my prayer time, I'm asking God through the years, if I'm praying for it and somebody else is praying for it too, but there's only one, how do you decide who gets it? And what do
mm,
I do when your answer for me is no and they get it? Kind of like when you see the memes about people celebrating people when they're winning, and then
mm-hmm.
somebody will celebrate you. So keeping that in mind, that sometimes there are those situations, but everybody wants to win. But what does my loss look like? And will I be here again? So keeping in mind not to burn bridges and just treating people like really like you want to be treated. Not saying that you won't have any disagreements or people see things different than you do. I speak up, and I still speak up and speak out even when people don't agree with me. But I guess, just being careful, um, with people, and realizing that they have a value. It may
Mm-hmm.
not be something that you need today, but it may be tomorrow. They may need you for something that has a value, or maybe not. But just treating people like you want to be treated. It's just kind of like basic stuff.
Right. And I totally agree with you. My mom used to always say, like, Nora, just when people give you things, just take it. Even if you don't like it, because one day they may give you something that you do like, and you've already took the things that they gave you the first time. People used to give me stuff all the time, I guess, like growing up. And my aunts or cousins, like I had a lot of older people in my family who would give me things that I didn't too much like, and I would complain. And she's like, don't complain about the stuff that they give you, because maybe one day they'll give you something. And I remember when I was going off to college my first year as a freshman, and my aunt came out with this big old like trash can cleaned out, but it was stuffed with like pillows and blankets and all these old perfumes. And I
Mhm.
took it, and I opened it when I got to my dorm, and in it was like this Clinique perfume. And I was like, oh yeah, I was just so happy
Uh-huh.
because I took it. And all these years she had gave me a bunch of junk, honestly, it was. But that time around, it had something good in it. But I had always loved her, and I would always say thank you and be appreciative of the things that she gave me so many times over the years. Even if I couldn't use it, I give it away to my younger siblings or I give it somewhere else. But I was always appreciative of anything that people give me, and I kept that mindset throughout the years as I grew older. In my business dealings and in my life in general, and it's paid dividends. It really has. And I never frown on the small things, because you never know who you're entertaining. You don't know what people are gonna become. And I see women, in my career that I'm doing, I work with a lot of women, thousands of women, that are in my organization and throughout my groups and different stuff. And I don't know who I'm interacting with. I don't know what these women are gonna become. I don't know what their businesses are gonna blossom into. I don't know if I'm touching elbows with future millionaires
Right.
or billionaires. I don't know what they're gonna become. But I always am careful, like you said, how I handle and how I represent and treat people when they're in my presence. Because
Right.
it's not always what people say to you, but it's always how they treat you. You always remember how you feel. And
Right.
coming back to that, like when I met you that day at the breakfast, I don't really remember. You kind of reminded me at the thing what we talked about. And when we were at that CEO meeting, you reminded me, we talked a little bit about marketing, but I didn't even remember that conversation, honestly. What I remembered is how you treated me and how you respected the work that I did. And that's so important for me because it's about how we treat people. And that's what we remember. That is the lasting impression that you had on me. And I remember you came to my brunch, and this, you don't know me, you don't know me from Adam. And this is true. And this is the thing about supporting other women. When we get into these different things, I don't have to know you to respect the work that you do in the space that you took up in the earth and what you do for a living. I just know how you treat people, how you come out, your energy, all of that was good. I love that. So I'm
Thank
going to support that. I'm going to do that. And I'm like, hey, this woman is good in my book, and this was an opportunity. So you never know how people are, what people are watching or what they're seeing. So it behooves you or all of us. And I'm just talking to my whole audience too, is to show up and love people and treat people with respect no matter where you go. And that's just, to me, just normal everyday behavior. That's just protocol. I feel like that should be your everyday protocol. You shouldn't come in with a spirit of competition, or I want to take over, or I'm that girl. I mean, you should say you that girl because you ever got about to believe in yourself, yes.
you.
But come in with a thing of we're going to go into this thing with friendship and community, and we're going to be able to build each other up. Not a thing of I'm going to dominate, I'm going to take over this girl, I'm going to do this. No, I'm coming in with a spirit of let's see what we can do to collaborate. Let's see what we can do to
Right.
love on each other. How can we grow? How can we develop? I love that. And I seen that in you. And that's why I specifically wanted you to have this conversation. You know what I mean? And but anyway, so but next thing I want to ask you is communication. When we talk about communication and getting our point across and dealing with conflict and how to resolve that, because I know that's something that women, or especially us as women, deal with, especially on the business side. When we talking about money and we talking about building businesses and
Mhm.
doing collaboration with women, how do you deal with conflict, or how do you resolve conflict or communicate that to women, or how have you dealt with that in the past?
Well, one of the great things, I haven't really um, collaborated with very many women to like, I've just been a support. Like, if you need
Okay.
me to show up, if you're doing something, I'm supporting, I'm going to come, I'll be there, and I'll help, whatever. As far as
Mm-hmm.
the first really collaboration with this radio station with Francetta. But prior to us doing the station, we were both elected for, she was president of the NAACP Tulsa branch, and I was elected
Oh,
as first vice president. But before the election, we had a conversation. She was like, listen, I know we're both alpha females. And so
okay.
I really appreciated that, because I'm like, listen, I don't need and both of us, it turned out to be the same way. I don't need the title. I just want to do the work so I can support you in whatever it is however far you want to go with this. But having a communication about it, it's upfront, was really good and important when you talk to people about expectations and how will we handle differences, because we are different. We have some things that are alike, but
Hmm.
I mean, we're different. So there
Right.
will be times where we don't agree. How will we handle it? It's great to have it up front, just like you would have marriage counseling before you get married. Having those, if you're going to collaborate with someone, having those conversations in contracts, you see that people who really, go into business, not just women, but just in business in general, you talk about how you'll dissolve your business. How will you settle what's going on? And so I think it's important and responsible for you to have those kind of conversations with people that you intend to do business with. Um, Even and sometimes even when you show up to support, one of the things that I hate seeing is when people say, my family doesn't support me, my friends, I thought they were my
Yeah.
credit union,
Oh my gosh. Yes.
and I always, every time I get a chance, I'm gonna say it now,
Mhm.
cast your net out in the deep. When people go fishing, they don't throw their fishing line at their toes. They throw it way out, as far as in the lake, river, wherever they're fishing. They throw that, like they reach
Exactly.
way back, bending back bends. I can't do a back bend no more, but back bends, to throw that rod out as far as they can, because they want to catch. They want to be out there in the masses, and that's where they have to go, is communicate, get out there past their people. Um,
Right.
yeah. And at the same time, you kind of reap what you sow. So are you helping other businesses that are people that are in business? Do you support what they're doing? Do you share, like, follow? Um, we talked briefly about just the way business is going today. Business to business is so important, and just the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity in marketing for businesses to create additional revenue. Support people's business pages, share them sometimes, like them. Just spend, like, sometimes I would take a Friday or a Thursday and I would just share people's stuff, or I make a post often on my pages to say, hey, what's your business? Support your business. Do you have a business? Any friends, family? Share your link. Um,
Right.
yeah. So communicating is key. I don't think you can over communicate.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I like that what you said, going back to the family and friends thing, because listen, so many people post about that, especially new entrepreneurs and businesses. I'm so guilty, Angela. I used to do that. I used to be that girl who was like, my mom, my people don't support me. They don't do, my classmates from, 10th grade, they don't share my stuff or whatever. I'm like, girl, those people are not going to support you, and it's totally fine, because honestly they're not your target audience. And I didn't know what a target audience meant. I didn't know the fundamentals of that. And when I began to learn business, and when I began to learn marketing and understand that who I was marketing to and who I was trying to reach, I realized that them was not the people I was trying to reach anyway, and it was okay. And I
Yeah.
moved on pretty quickly, but I understand that plight that new business owners have when they see that the people that they grew up with or that they thought were close to them are not supporting them. And so you kind of see that as like a lose lose, but it's not a lose. They're not your target audience. And sometimes people will support you in ways just to say that they did. And they may not have any interest in your business, but they'll buy a shirt, or they'll subscribe to your channel, or they'll like your video. And that's great and lovely. But at the end of the day, they're not going to be a part of your target audience anyway. And so it behooves you not to get wrapped up in who from high school supported you, or who from your old friend group supported you, or your cousin didn't like something or whatever. And honestly, the algorithm may not bring it to them. And we have to be aware of that too. Like, it's only a certain amount of things that come up in people's news feed every day. So they literally just may have not seen it. And so we just have to understand that piece of it too. That's a whole nother ball game too, that I could get into. But so we have to be mindful of all those things and keep posting. Okay, just
Right.
post, post, post. If you don't post it, people can't see it. And I'll tell people all the time, post your content. Post it 2 times a day, 3 times a day. Because I remember me and my sister were joking. We got 4 messages from Fashion Nova within an hour. I got 2 emails and 2 text messages from Fashion Nova, and that's how they roll. And we opened all 4 of them. Okay, so if Fashion Nova can send me 2 emails and 2 text messages within a couple hours, I can post 2 videos or a flyer on Facebook, and they'll be all right with me. Okay, if they don't like it, they can unfollow me. So anyway, that's
Right.
kind of my thing. That's kind of my just my push as a marketer for y'all business ladies, because I know y'all guys are tuned in too. Post your content, post your stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't be discouraged by family and friends not liking your stuff, or understanding it. Just keep posting. I think
Yeah.
that they do want to support you. People will support you. That you just need to get in front of the right audience. So, but anyway, so when you think about women in business, and you're just going along this path of trying to form these relationships, what do you think? Like, have you ever experienced where women were intimidated by you in your stature or your status, or just kind of like weren't able to approach you? Like, have you ever experienced that as a alpha? I heard you say you and Miss Franzetta were both alpha females,
Yeah.
and you guys are both leaders. And I know, as a leader myself, I have experienced what I'm asking you about. But have you experienced that where people are intimidated by you, or maybe shy away, or feel threatened by you? And what has been your experience, maybe if you have, overcoming
So here's the thing. Yes, but I didn't know
that?
it at the time. So I didn't
Mhm.
know it until after the fact. Because
Right.
usually people will say, well, you're really a nice person. I didn't realize that you were this nice. I'm like, well, what do you think I was? I mean, if you don't talk to me, if I don't have the opportunity and we've not been in the same, circle, or I've not seen you at different things, um, if I've not seen you, you've not had any interactions, I don't know what you're thinking or why, but no, I'm not. I don't know. Sometimes people say, "Oh, she thinks she knows it all." I know what I know, and there's some. I know I don't know some things, but what I know, I mean, I do a lot. I research. I have a master's degree in entrepreneurial studies with research, and so I do a lot of research, like FBI type research stuff. I'm always researching, and I like to read and find out. I like to learn. I'm a lifelong learner. I'll be learning from now on, but I'm confident in who I am and what I'm doing. I'm always learning. So there are some things that I mean, definitely, obviously, that I don't know, but I always want to learn. So some people are intimidated by that. You can.
Right.
I mean, it amazes me. People in business, grown, be in circles and don't want to speak or talk. And it's like, if you're a business owner and somebody gives you the floor, promote your business. Don't, this is not the time for you to be quiet and keep your mouth closed. So I'm always saying something, but most of the time, I don't know about those situations until after the fact, and somebody says, "Well, I didn't realize you were nice. I mean,
Right.
or
Right.
I
Because
could talk to you, or you would help me." So yeah, it's usually
wow.
after the fact.
Right. So y'all heard that, ladies. If you feel intimidated, go ahead and talk. Okay. She is not scary. We are not scary. Sometimes I think people think because you're a leader or you have a certain status in the community or whatever it may be. A lot of times as leaders, you don't even most true leaders don't even want their title. Like honestly, if you're a true leader and you've carried that mantle around, you probably are tired. You're probably exhausted. You would love for someone to take that load. I
Mhm.
remember being in management at my old company and just overwhelmed. And I would have people that were under me trying to, go for that job or whatever. And I'm like, listen, sis, you can have it. Like, it's nothing over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I'm like, all the real managers know that we're overwhelmed and this is not what you want. But anyway, it was just funny because people would always want all of the they would want the perks that come along with the title, but not the work that
right.
comes along with the title. And it is definitely a world of work that comes along with being in these roles and position. But and that's not even the direction we're going. That's just a side piece for y'all. But but what the real thing I want women to know is that don't be intimidated when you go into these circles and you go into these rooms.
Mhm.
Speak your piece. And sometimes we create these false senses and these false narratives that everybody's mad at us or that everybody's mean girls or that people are out to get you. They're
Yeah,
not out to get you, sis. Nobody's out to get you. They may maybe way friendlier than you think. I'm pretty friendly, y'all. I'm a
yeah,
nice girl. I'm nice. I always want to see folks win. If I could get everybody on my podcast, I would. I just pick and choose because I don't have the time. It's just like I'm overwhelmed already, and
yeah,
I'm trying to pull as many other leaders as I can that have audience that they too touch, and then they can reach the people. And that's my whole modality here is to reach more women, to reach more people. And so don't be afraid to show up in these rooms and speak out who you are. Don't ever let anybody shut you down. And I
yes.
remember growing up and people thought I was mute. The enemy and you guys know on my platform that I speak a lot about my faith in God and my love for my love for God and being able to overcome my obstacles with depression, anxiety, and all of those mental health issues that I personally struggle with. These are not far off things. These are things that I struggle with myself, but I didn't talk. It was a point in my life where I went mute, where I didn't say a word for almost a year. And the enemy had shut me down. I wasn't able to speak or talk because of some things that had happened to me in my home growing up with my father. And I finally started speaking, but when I start talking, I have not shut up since that day, y'all. And I am a walking testimony. I will not stop ever talking and telling my story because God is truly faithful. So
Mhm.
there is no one or no room that I will ever go in and shut my mouth and be quiet because I have something to say and
Right.
you do too. Like whatever you have to say, whatever you bring to the table, bring it. It's valuable, it's important, it's good. If it hasn't been done before, that means that it behooves you to do it. And so That's just my word of encouragement and my tips to you guys is to say what you got to say and go in them rooms and show up with authority. Okay, you belong there.
Yes.
And my next question to you, Angela, is what are some ways, as women in business, that we can support each other throughout, like, what do you personally think are some ways that we can support each other and kind of like collaborate or bring other women together that are in these different circles or these different powerful roles? What can we do as women to kind of like niche ourselves together? Because I know we're kind of a separated group of folks. And by nature, the work that we do is kind of like a party of one thing. I know, I get that. I experience it every day. And I even want to know for myself
Mhm.
what you think. What are some ways that we can kind of like start coming together or collaborate and start trying to bring some of our ideas together? And we talked a little bit about this at that CEO meeting too, about ways that we can kind of bring stuff together and maybe some think tanks. But what is your take on it? Because I don't know if I heard any of your in-depth ideas that night that we were
Well,
talking.
I think having a mindset, you have to have a mindset that you need to create a win-win situation, because you're going to find you build these big networks or groups, and you're
Mm-hmm.
just the only one benefiting, that they won't
Mm,
last very long, right? So there has
right.
to be a win-win situation where everybody gets an opportunity to win. That we're all doing work, we're putting work in, but everybody wins from the work. That it's not, again, just the organization winning. I think us collaborating, pulling in people with different expertise, or even
Mm-hmm.
having people, finding people that do exactly what you do, and have
Mm-hmm.
combining to make it a larger platform of what you guys do, and then going
Mm-hmm.
out and either training, educating, finding the people who are your target audience, but
Mm-hmm.
you with more of a variety of people. Maybe you have a different style of the work, what you offer, and they have a different style, but you're in the same industry. So now
Right.
people can come and like, well, we're going to talk to a few experts in this
Right.
industry, and so and make it more appealing to who you're trying to appeal to. So
Mm.
I think collaboration is going to be key. Listen, I have a business and I had to rely on workforce, and
Mm.
it's not working. It's not working. It's not working so well for many different reasons, and it's hard to say. There's not just one particular reason, but when you're talking about service-based businesses, and you're talking about uh, wages, living wages, from that perspective. Then the other side is from the business perspective and the insurances that we have to carry. The more we pay that employee wages, the more we pay for their workers' comp insurance, the more we pay for
Mm.
other insurances, our payroll, and all those things go up. So we're looking at those things versus what we get. And then a way to
Mm.
compensate that to really get a good profit margin, then we have to charge the customer more. But then you
Mm.
have people that you have to hire at $15 an hour that don't have any experience. And so it's really hard to make somebody pay top dollar for somebody that doesn't have experience, but you paying them like you do. So it's a tough situation. I keep telling everybody the way it looks to me, and I'm just me, is that
Right.
it's going to be more business to business, and everybody needs to learn how to do business.
Right.
Everybody needs to.
Yeah.
I see the memes. Everybody's not business, entrepreneurs. Don't everybody want to be? Stop telling people everybody needs to have a business, but you do. You need
Yeah.
to benefit from the taxes, because the people who don't have businesses are paying the most. It's just like
Mm.
with credit. People don't want to do credit. I do cash. That's a lie. They just be, I've said that. I said that too when my credit was bad and didn't want to take responsibility and fix it. I said that. So, but you pay more, right? You're part of the credit system, whether you want to be or not. And you're paying more if your credit is lower. And I've been up and down and up and down, but learning, and that's a system too, learning that how that works, And but yeah, I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, it was okay. That was good. That was good
Yeah,
information right there anyway, because I feel like it's true though. We're gonna have to start business, kind of almost like the barter system. You know what I mean? Because that's what I do. I have, I can't always afford a photographer, but I'll go speak for you and you come take my photos. I've done that before.
hmm,
I've, done different things for different people and they need a host and I'll go host their program and they come back around and decorate my program, or they do the food, or whatever the case may be, whatever I need, on the back end or whatever. And we kind of collaborate that way. It's so many ways to collaborate and do business. It's not always about exchange of currency. It can be exchanged in services.
sure,
And I'm learning that, as I get into business, as long as you have a good contract and a good relationship in place, and everybody knows and understands exactly what's to go in place, I
mhm,
think that is a workable thing, and can be done, and it can be communicated. And communication is so important as we're going through these different avenues. And it's not always about people doing you dirty out here, y'all. Like, it's some good
yeah,
business going on. It's some good women out here. I go to events all the time, all over Tulsa, with very good women who have very sustainable businesses and are doing very good things in the community. Different groups, I collaborate with them. I've sit with them, talk with them. We broke bread together, and I mean phenomenal women right here in the Tulsa community. And I know my audience is all over the United States. I know you guys are everywhere, and some of y'all are not in Tulsa, but I encourage y'all, even in y'all own home towns, to go out to these business meetings, go out to these coffee shops, go out to these different things that are going on in your community, and collaborate with these women, because they truly are there. And men too. I know my platform is a lot of women though, but there are mixes, there are brunches, there are things going on in your community where you can link up and learn stuff. I've met attorneys, I've met doctors, I've met nurses, I've met people of artists, I've met photographers, I've met cake decorators, I've met people from all areas of life and business. And every time they go, people don't do business cards, but I do. I keep me a little card and I alphabet everything's in the thing. And when I need a decorator, I go to my little box and I pull out my decorator. I say, oh yeah, I remember she decorate cakes, or I remember he's a web designer, or she's a photographer. And it may be a year before I get back to you, but I'm coming back. I don't forget nobody. I don't forget a face. I take a picture of your card, whatever I need to do to remember who you are and keep that in mind. And I've been doing this for quite some time, and I've built up a very large portfolio of people
mhm,
over the time of going to these different businesses. As a matter of fact, everybody that I've met in the last 3 to 4 years since I've been doing this has been at these different businesses, and I built my platform off of all of these different things that I've done, and done that very well. Honestly, to say, for myself, and I love doing it. So I encourage y'all to network, go out, network, talk, speak. Don't be afraid to get out there and do those type of things. But
sure.
anyway, I know I've been on my soapbox and telling y'all to go outside, because some of y'all are shy, y'all introverted, y'all don't like to go outside. But some of these things are done on Zoom too, y'all. It's some Zoom stuff out there for my shy girls who don't like to go out and stuff. But I like to dress up and go out and mingle with the ladies and stuff. So I want to encourage y'all to do that too. And I'm all about self care and mental health, and so I like to talk about that mental health piece. So before we go, I want to talk about that too, really quick, Angela. So when it comes to your mental health and thinking about how friendships work, because I know a lot of times we put a lot of our energy into our romantic relationships and we care for those so well. I want to talk a little bit about that, those friendships that you get with women in these business relationships. How have those affected your mental health? How are they good for mental health? For me, it's been positive for my mental health, but I know when I lose a friendship, I'm damaged. Like, it hurts my feelings when I lose a friend and stuff like that. I normally get over it faster than romantic relationships, I know, but it still affects me. What about you when it comes to honing relationships or building relationships, when it comes to the mental health part of it?
Well, um, I can say that my faith is in God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just getting older, I
Mm-hmm.
realize I look and assess. I have to take accountability for anything that I did wrong in that or causing
Mm-hmm.
that. But if it's something that I've said. I'm sorry if it was me or I tried to understand or do whatever, then I have to give it to God. I try not to
Mm-hmm.
take that on in internally. I mean, you need relationships with women. They're different from your spouse or your boyfriend. It's having that support from another woman, kind of. They're just different. It's a different relationship, and you need those. Um, I don't, so people that are like my friends, we've been friends for like some years.
Yeah.
You have new friends and you have to learn them and you do certain things. Some people, and I will just be honest because I am friendly and I get to know people. And then you just have to know, like, well, they weren't really your friend. Y'all were just doing this business thing and they didn't really have an interest in being your friend. And you have to be okay with that because that's not a
Mm,
responsibility that you get to make. So as long as someone else has an opportunity, or if it's somebody else's decision to make, you don't get to control that. And because you don't get to
right.
control that, you have to decide initially and right then and even up front that you can only control what you can do.
Right.
You can't make, you can't make somebody. My grandma used to tell me all the time, well, not all the time. One time I wasn't invited to a birthday party. And I was
Mm.
like, I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna tell her. She said, no, you not. You have your own party, right? And I was like,
Uh,
what you mean? Because I mean, all those people at the school are gonna be the only one. But we had a party and she and we had a good time. And it really taught me something about me, and people don't always see the value in you, right?
mm,
So that I can't give that away. I can't let anybody take that and say that I wasn't worth it. I wasn't
right.
worth working it out. If I wasn't worth it to you, it's okay. Maybe, and that's what we just need to go our separate ways.
Right.
Some relationships are like that, and some, you know, some are good. Some stay.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Your grandma was right, 100%. Like I'm the same way and I've gotten I feel like the older I get, the more I'm going where you going,
Mhm.
Angela. Like no, I just I don't chase folks no more. You know what I mean? Like I used to love for people to love me and that
Yeah,
just, that was a good thing for me. Like I wanted people to like me and I did things for people to like me and I think a little part of me still does. Like, I want people, of course, you want people to enjoy you. Like, that would be ideal. You would ideally want people to enjoy your presence, but honey, if they don't, you get
mhm.
what I'm saying? If they
Right.
don't,
Yeah.
you still going to go have some tea. You still going to have your coffee and your life is going to go on and you're
Right.
going to be all right with that. And that's where I'm at right now. Like, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm good and that's where I'm at right now. And I love that for me because them is the boundaries that I had to set for myself. I'm like, listen, I'm not begging nobody, I'm not chasing nobody, but I'm doing it in a way where I'm not angry. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be angry or bitter with you. I just understand that I'm not for you, you're not for me, and I wish you the best, and I hope you
Right.
wish me too. But if you don't, I still don't care. But I'm gonna move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
say a
it's just,
prayer for you
yeah, right, right.
because I'm sleeping over
Godspeed.
here, not missing a beat.
Right. We still
Sleeping
eat
in the
good over
cupcake.
here. So, right, exactly. So, but anyway, that's so funny. But that's good. But anyway, so tell the ladies what you got coming up next and how we can reach you.
So we made history being the first Black woman-owned radio station in Oklahoma.
Round of applause.
And we're located on the historic Greenwood Avenue in Tulsa, the original Black Wall Street. So we're really excited. We have a few collaborations. We are sponsored by the Gap Band. So the founder, who was the late Ronnie Wilson, his wife's estate, they sponsored us. So every Friday, I just finished a set. Every Friday from 5 to 6, I'm on the air. We're jamming to the Gap Band music. So songs you may not have heard before or old school, just Gap Band. We're doing that. We also partnered with the Greenwood Chamber of Commerce and TC Living Marketing for the original Black Wall Street Merchant Marketplace, which is every Saturday on Greenwood, the
Oh
100
wow.
North Greenwood in the courtyard. So we're there. And then we also collaborated with Katina Walker with CEO's Night Out. So every second Saturday of the month, we're at from 4 to 7. We are at the Courtyard by Marriott in downtown Tulsa. So we're just excited. We've only been on this
Yeah.
for 2 months, and I'm telling you, we're doing some great things. One of my shows, Refocused and Informed, which you were a guest on once before.
Yes, that's the one I was on, and I
Yeah,
loved it.
great. And
Absolutely.
we're so
With
glad.
Sonya, right? Miss
Sandia,
Sonya there.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And she was
Uh-huh.
just on the show. I interviewed her yesterday on the Refocused.
Oh, okay.
So we were syndicated from the time we launched the Greenwood Beat, which was
Oh
just
wow. Okay.
so you can hear Refocused and Informed in Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Montgomery, Alabama, and the DMV, District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia. So we're pretty excited. We have some more in the works. We're just working out some details. And so we just got a lot of stuff going. I mean, there's a lot of stuff
That's
going
so
on. We have some
good.
great shows. And we just want to give a voice to the community. One of the shows, Flipping the Script, which is hosted by Francetta Mays, she gives the platform and people an opportunity to tell their stories. In Oklahoma, I don't know if everybody knows, but there's a lot of people who are wrongfully convicted. Like the
Right.
systems and the people working the systems, it's a long story, but you guys know. And they get to come on and tell their story. Different people. It's just a great platform. We have some great shows, great music. It's just, I'm so excited that God is using me for this. And we hope to build unity in the community um, and really,
Wow.
really, build up at people, people who we're after, the hearts of people. I just started yesterday was the first kind of like launch. We'll have a launch on YouTube, our new YouTube channel for my inspiration. So I have a few minutes of inspirations that will play on the radio, and of course you'll be able to catch them on YouTube as well. And I'm just sharing about Jesus. I'm sharing about God, and
That's
I'm
so
using
exciting.
this platform for that, for His glory. Well,
Wow.
thank you so much for inviting me. Hey, ladies. Thank you for just all the feedback and the love. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I see all the comments. Somebody said that Angela's one of the sweetest people I know. I can't see who said that, y'all, because it says, and then Kiana, I see you on there, sis. And all the hellos. Thank you, ladies, for tuning in to her. Thank you so much, Miss Angela. And y'all give her another round of applause. If y'all are not following her, make sure y'all follow her on all social medias. Go like her business page, the Greenwood Beat, all of the things that she mentioned, and also that CEO night, which is it every second Saturday of the
Yes,
month?
correct.
Yeah, so make sure you guys are following that. I absolutely love that. Was my very first time going to it last Saturday, and I really, really enjoyed it. I'll definitely be going back. I'll be bringing a friend. I'll drag out two or three friends if I can. I want y'all to go out to that. We had a good speaker there last week, Mr. Ramon Walker. He was really insightful. He was talking about some marketing tips and things that he left with the ladies, and a gentleman too. A couple of gentlemen were there as well. So, gentlemen, you guys come out too. Come out to CEO night. It's really good. I really, really like what you guys are doing with that. And I love what you guys are doing with the Greenwood Beat and Miss Francetta with her story as well. If you guys don't know as well, for me, my brothers, I have two older brothers that were exonerated from the Oklahoma Correction Center, one in 2016, one in 2019. One brother served 28-year sentence and the other one did a 22-year sentence for wrongfully convicted crimes. And I'm not sure what the history is, but it was very unlikely that they would ever see the real light of day again. And both brothers were exonerated from crimes that they did not commit. So I'm very familiar with unjust system in Oklahoma, y'all, especially Oklahoma, and for Black and brown people being falsely accused of crimes that they not commit. And I have been for social justice. I've been for an advocate. And I promise, like, if I wasn't doing the work that I'm doing now, that I would definitely be an advocate for that work, because it is so incredibly important that someone give a voice to the people that don't have this voice, and that, people are being taken rapidly in these systems for crimes that they literally didn't commit, because they don't have attorneys or people that can represent them in a way. And both of my brothers had court appointed lawyers and were railroaded into these systems, one at 17 and one at 18, and both got out, were almost 40 years old. So, they're free now, and they're telling their story. They're writing books. They did two segments on, I think, CNN, one on CNN and the other one on CBS. If y'all look up their stories. But anyway, it's crazy. So I'm so thankful that you ladies are doing that work and working with the NAACP as well. I've seen that work from you too, Miss Angela. Y'all keep doing that work. It's so important work. And I'm a share, post, whatever y'all need me to do. Just let me know. Tag me in it if you want. I want the tag. Go ahead and tag me.
Okay.
Please tag me
We'll
in
take.
that work. So yes, tag me, y'all. I want to support that in any way I can. So anyway, is it any final thoughts, Miss Angela, that you want to leave with the ladies when it comes to our topic of being able to form these relationships, or anything left that you would like to say to the ladies tonight?
No, I just want to make sure that everyone that's listening knows that you are enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't put a lot of weight into people, you're not fitting people's life at that moment, or not being a good fit at that moment, because and then think back to some people you may not be associated with right now for whatever reason. It's the right fit for you, so keep that in mind. Don't when it comes to your mental health, protect your mental health. And because entrepreneurship is already comes with its own stuff that you need to be
Yeah,
in your right mind for. You don't have
exactly.
time for all that. So just be good to people, treat people how you want to be treated, and don't allow that stuff to just wear you down. You're worth it. You're enough. That's it.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, thank you again, Miss Angela. We really appreciate you coming on to the show. And hopefully I can have you back, you and Miss Franchetta back, and y'all both come together or something. We got to collaborate and come back together so y'all can talk about the show a little bit more, and we can talk about that. So what I need you ladies to do, though, is I need you guys to like and share this to your friends. Please blow this up. Like I said, follow her page, follow this page, and continue to support us over here on Girl Talk Inc. We love it. I thank you guys for all your support continuously. And of course, we'll be back next week for another Nights with Nora, and I'll have another special guest. So I will see you ladies next week. And until then, y'all have a fantastic rest of your week and have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.